The year is 1996. In the quiet suburbs of Los Angeles, three high school friends, Mike Shinoda, Brad Delson, and Rob Borden, were about to embark on a journey that would transform the musical landscape forever. These three, bound by their love for alternative music, heavy metal, and hip-hop, had no idea that their modest beginnings would someday lead to one of the most iconic rock albums of the 21st century, Hybrid Theory.
But in the end, it doesn't even matter.
It all started in Agoura Hills, California. Shinoda, Delson, and Borden attended Agoura High School, where their shared passion for music blossomed into a serious pursuit. After graduation, they teamed up with vocalist Mark Wakefield and bassist Dave Phoenix Farrell to form Xero, a band with dreams larger than their limited resources. Joe Hahn would join later, adding his turntable skills to their growing sound. But despite their humble setup, they had something special: determination. Armed with a 4-track demo and an unwavering drive, Xero recorded their first tracks in Shinoda's bedroom studio. The result was their 1997 self-titled demo album, Xero. But even with this milestone, success seemed distant. The band performed their first show at the Whisky A Go-Go in West Hollywood, opening for SX10 and System of a Down. The buzz was small, but the potential was undeniable. As they continued to play shows, frustrations began to mount. Xero wasn't landing record deals, and their dream just seemed so out of reach. Mark Wakefield, feeling disillusioned by the band's lack of progress, decided to move on to other projects. Around the same time, bassist Dave Phoenix Farrell left to tour with the Christian punk band Tasty Snacks. Xero was unraveling, and without a lead vocalist, their future seemed uncertain. Then, in March 1999, everything changed. Enter Chester Bennington.
Everything you say to me is one step closer to the end, and I'm about to break.
A dynamic vocalist from Arizona, previously with the band Grey Days. Bennington had been recommended by Jeff Blue, an A&R executive who had long been following Xero's journey. The moment Chester's voice collided with Shinoda's hip-hop-infused style, it was clear that the band had found their missing piece. The chemistry between the two was undeniable, and for the first time in years, Xero felt reinvigorated. With Bennington on board, the band needed a fresh start. So they decided to rebrand themselves as Hybrid Theory, symbolizing their new beginning and their unique blend of musical styles. They even released a self-titled EP under the new name, which quickly started to generate buzz online. But just as things were beginning to fall into place, the band hit another roadblock: potential legal issues from a Welsh electronic group also named Hybrid. Once again, the band was forced to adapt. Faced with the possibility of more legal complications, they brainstormed for a new name, something that could be theirs entirely. The solution? Linkin Park. Inspired by Santa Monica's Linkin Park, a place they pass frequently, the name had local significance. Brad Delson liked the alternative spelling Linkin because it gave the band the flexibility to create their own meaning for the name. With newfound energy, the band started crafting songs that would later define their signature blend of rock, metal, and hip-hop. Bennington's raw, powerful vocals and Shinoda's unique blend of rap and production created a sound unlike anything else at the time. But even after the name change, the challenges continued. Major labels weren't biting.
Well, we had a really tough time getting a record deal. I think we were refused by every label
known to man
in the universe.
We even created our own label and
didn't sign ourselves.
Yeah. The band faced rejection after rejection. Once again, it was Jeff Blue who stepped in to help. Now the president of Warner Bros. Records, Blue pushed the label to sign the band. It wasn't easy, but eventually Warner Bros. Took a chance on them. But even after the ink dried on their contract, the challenges were far from over. The music that would eventually become Hybrid Theory started as a 9-track demo tape in 1999. Desperate to secure a full album deal, the band played 42 different showcases for industry executives, each time coming away empty-handed. By now, their sound was fully realized, but the industry wasn't yet ready for a hybrid that blended rap, metal, and electronic elements. It was only through Jeff Blue's persistence and belief in the band that Warner Bros. Gave them their shot. Once signed, The next challenge was finding the right producer. Many turned them down, wary of investing in a newly signed, untested band. Finally, Don Gilmore stepped up to produce, and Andy Wallace was brought in as the mixer. In March 2000, recording began at NRG Studios in North Hollywood, and the band began the process of transforming their rough demos into polished tracks. Most of the songs that made it onto Hybrid Theory were reworked versions of their earlier demos. Shinoda's rap sections were significantly altered, adding more structure, whilst the choruses, especially Bennington's powerful, emotionally charged vocals, remained largely intact. The band pulled in temporary bassist Scott Koziel and Ian Hornbeck to fill in for Pharrell, who was still absent at the time, and even Delson played bass on most tracks. Additionally, the Dust Brothers added their production magic, laying extra beats on tracks like With You. Lyrically, Hybrid Theory was a raw reflection of human emotion. Many of the lyrics were influenced by material written by Mark Wakefield, but Bennington and Shinoda dove deeper into personal territory. Themes of frustration, inner conflict, and emotional struggle dominated the album. As Bennington explained in a 2002 interview with Rolling Stone, tracks like Crawling, they were about accountability. That song, Bennington said, is about taking responsibility for your actions. There's something inside me that pulls me beneath the surface. This depth resonated with listeners because Hybrid Theory wasn't just a rock album. It was a visceral outlet for universal feelings of isolation, anger, and self-reflection. The band's ability to balance heavy, aggressive riffs with introspective lyrics struck a chord in a generation hungry for something real. Despite the emotional weight of the album, the recording sessions themselves also weren't without their pressure. Warner Brothers remained skeptical. They weren't sure how to market a band that fused so many different genres so freely. Some even suggested that Bennington should ditch Shinoda and make the album purely rock-focused. But Bennington stood his ground. He knew the magic that lay in the blend, and Linkin Park wouldn't compromise. After 4 intense months in the studio, Hybrid Theory was ready for release, with Dave Farrell rejoining the band just in time. Linkin Park was poised to make their mark, and when Hybrid Theory finally dropped on October 24, 2000, the world was ready. It became an instant sensation, certified diamond by the Recording Industry Association of America, selling over 10 million copies in the US alone. Tracks like One Step Closer, Crawling, and In the End became anthems for a generation, propelling Linkin Park to stardom almost overnight. Hybrid Theory wasn't just an album, it was a revolution, a hybrid of genres, emotions, and styles that defined a new era of music. And the rest, as they say, is history.